Reversal. While studying for his PhD at Harvard University in computer science, Paul Graham discovered something about himself. He had profound distaste for any kind of politicking or social maneuvering. He was not good at it, and it irritated him to the end to be dragged in situations in which others behaved manipulatively. His brief encounter with politics within the department convinced him he was not cut out for a life in academia. His lesson became strengthened a few years later when he went to work for a software company. Almost everything they did was irrational. Firing the original tech people, making a salesperson the head of the company, creating too long a time between releases of new products. All these bad choices came about because in a group of politics and ego often trump sound decision making. Unable to tolerate this, he came up with his own solution. As much as possible, he would avoid any environment that involved politicking. This meant sticking to doing startups on the smallest scale, on constraint that made him disciplined and creative. Later, when he founded Y Combinator, a kind of apprenticeship system for tech startups, he could not prevent the company from growing in size. He was too successful. His solution was in twofold. One, he would have his wife and partner in the company, Jessica Livingston, handle all the tricky social situations since she possessed a high level of social intelligence. Two, he maintained a very loose, non-bureaucratic structure to the company. If, like Graham, you simply do not have the patience that is required for making and mastering more subtle and manipulative sides of the human nature, then your best answer is to keep yourself away from those situations as best as possible. This will rule out working in groups larger than a handful of people. Above a certain number, political considerations and ability rise to the surface. It means working for you yourself or on very small startups. Even still, is getting generally wise to try gain the rudiments for social intelligence, to be able to read and recognize sharks, and to charm and disarm difficult people. The reason that no matter how hard you might try and avoid situations you call for such knowledge, the world is one large teeming court of intrigue and will inevitably pull you in. Your conscious attempt to out of the system will retard your apprenticeship in social intelligence and can make you vulnerable for the worst forms of naive, which all the disasters are most likely to endure. It's a great folly to hope that other men will harmonize with us. I've never hoped this. I've always regarded each man as an independent individual whom I endowed to understand with all his peculiarities, but from whom I desire no further sympathy. In this way, I've been enabled to converse with every man, and this alone is produced in the knowledge of various characters and the dexterity necessary for the conflict of life. John and Wolfgang von Goethe.